Historical determinism is the core concept here. And this is the belief that historical, and by extension present and future, events unfold according to predetermined sequences. And historical determinism was especially popular during the 19th century when it was known as historicism. Uh, I think people like Leopold von Ranke were involved in this, and Comte, Marx, and Hegel. So this is the idea that history follows a certain path. It follows perhaps certain steps in history, as Marx might say. Um, and I've included an image of a river here on going under the bridge. And I specifically included this because a river is always moving in one direction. It's almost predetermined. And in many ways, this is how this question, the examiner who set the question has said, is the course of history really going in one direction like this? And can it be diverted through music? I think, of course, the course of history, you could also look, for example, at social movement and say, for example, the racist power structure in the United States during the 1950s, for example, around the time of Rosa Parks, that was probably going to have continued unless, for example, social campaigners were involved in trying to fight a dominant narrative or dominant power structure. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a course of history. There's definitely moments when you can say, yes, music has changed the course of history, but it's difficult to say whether history would have progressed and followed the same course as before. So, to summarize in more simple terms, is history a singular linear course, as the question also implies and assumes? So, to wrap up, the main things that we need to think about with this question is what is music? What do you think music is? Secondly, what time periods and what places do you want to be examining? And what examples would you offer for this? Thirdly, what kind of sources and how do you analyze and historicize music, which is almost a hidden concept in a way. It's something that can't really be it's not usually able to be captured in historical sources, with the exceptions of things like recordings. And fourth and fifth, how do you define significant change? And the fifth point is how do we talk and consider the course of history as a concept?